What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of our Wolves career mode, and today 2 games for you. We have Sheffield United and then we have Everton. As you can see, after 3 games we sit on 6 points. Last episode losing to Burnley but beating Leeds 7-1, I believe in the end it was. We were incredibly dominant in that one, and we played 2 newly promoted teams, won 12-1 on aggregate in the end, and then we find Burnley and they beat us 2-1 in there. Sheffield are not easy. And Everton are not easy, so we are going to struggle over the next 2. It's going to be difficult, but hopefully we can find it. We'll also do deadline day, though I'm not expecting anything wild. So as you can see, 5 at the back here for Sheffield. There's some good players in there. Hopefully we can go ahead and grab the win. So let's jump into it. Wolves Sheffield, 2-0 in real life. Can we match it? Neves is racing forward here. He can slip it in. Can he get it to Jimenez? And Jimenez is fighting. Couldn't quite get to it, though. We can possibly recycle this. It comes to Moutinho. Moutinho finds Jimenez, and it's a great turn from the striker. On it still. Jimenez still holding. Gets it across. Traore, good block. Moutinho! Oh, just past the post. Free kick in a dangerous spot. Couple Sheffield United players standing over it. They slip it out wide. He goes for goal, and ooh, that was not far away. Actually saved on by the looks of it. Corner set to come in. He gets ahead to it, and Patricio with the save. Went straight at him. Play that forward. Back in. Here's Jimenez again. Top of the box. All alone. Has a pop, and oh, that's an excellent save there in net. I believe that's Ramsdale. Should be Ramsdale at least. Excellent save. It's going to come to the top of the box for Podence, who has a smack himself. It's blocked away and cleared. There we go. Moutinho now. And Jimenez can run into that space. He's going to get away from the center back here. And Jimenez, tight angle, forces a pretty decent save. Not much more Jimenez could do with that. There's 20 minutes to go, and it's a very, very tight game. It could be anybody's at this point. Oh, nice play. Oh, he's managed to get that through to McGoldrick. It's 1-0 to Sheffield. Oh, I didn't think he could squeeze that ball through that gap, and he did. And Sheffield United have taken a late lead. 75 minutes gone. It's 1-0. McGoldrick, the goal scorer. Runs right over to Chris Wilder there. They're in desperate need of points in real life already. But this ball here, I didn't think he'd get through. And that gap is a lot bigger than it looked. And McGoldrick's just run off. Not ideal. 1-0, 15 minutes to go. One more. Nicely done. Semedo on it here. And Jimenez is making a run. It's a good run as well. Jimenez, can he slip it back to Semedo? He can. Semedo, there it is. We're level here. As he kicks that back into the net. I love that. That's a new one I enjoy. 1-1 here. I was going to go pick up the ball, but 10 minutes to go. And we've put it back in the balance. 2 quick goals here after a whole lot of nothing, which is pretty typical for a Sheffield United game, I would feel, or I would think, I would know. It's a good ball back in there, and Jimenez does well to cut back in. Semedo just kept running, and that's what we want from him, to continue to maraud forward. It's an excellent finish as well from him. 10 minutes to go. Is there another goal in this game? Comes to Neves. Back inside, finds Jimenez. Back across Semedo. That's a great run being made by Traore, and Traore can slip it across goal, and oh, defended well. Traore takes it down. Still on it, Traore. As he steps and turns. Brilliant from Traore. And Traore, oh, it's a relatively weak effort for what you would expect from Traore. He normally hammers those. Oh, and that is a massive, massive save with only a couple minutes to go. Is there another opportunity slipped in? Nice football here. And Lucas is making a good run. It comes to him. Is there anything here? He just continues to race forward, Lucas. Brilliant. Can't quite slip it back to Traore, though. That's going to be clipped out wide. Just hoping that'd go out of play. It's a heavy touch, but that might be it. And it looks like we are going to finish level here, 1-1. We've had our chances in this game, which is the shame. But it finishes level. It's not an awful result or anything, but it's not exactly what we would have wanted. But we played all right. Had chances. Got to finish some of them off. Arsenal draw. Everton draw. Chelsea grab a win. We can take a look at the table in a moment. but only 1 point from our last two is not exactly what we want to see. And as you can see, after 4 games, we sit in 6th on 7 points. Still all right. We're ahead of Manchester City, so I mean, how bad could it be? But we still have a little bit to go before we get to the next game. But Robertson's moved to Real Madrid for £129 million. At the end of this, we're going to take a look and see who's come in. Cyprian's come into Aston Villa, which I believe is a target in real life as well. But Robertson there, that is a ton of money. But, you know, we'll go with it. Jan Batch and David Proper out at Brighton. Crazy, crazy, crazy money being spent here. Hulk. McNeil has left Burnley, which I didn't expect. He's a pretty decent player. Not a ton of money being spent on this last day, as you can see. But we want to see overall how teams have spent, as 150 million goes out at Chelsea and 141 million comes in. Zaha, Marlos, Paulinho, and De Vrij in at Chelsea. Christensen, Abraham, Giroud, Mount, Alonso out at Chelsea. So they've spent a lot, sold a lot. Actually, in the end, it was a net positive. But Zaha, Meyer, and Scott Dan out at Palace. Seferovic in. Let's take a look around. Diop, Mata in at Everton. Holgate and Calvert-Lewin out. Mitrovic, Seri, and Giza out at Fulham. Tuanzebe, Suarez in. Mitrovic and Robertson in at Leeds. Vardy out at Leeds, but they bring in Marcelo, Tammy Abraham, Martinez, Valencia, and Garcia. Liverpool, Moreno and Bellerin in, and Robertson and Brewster out. Brewster, who's just left about an hour after what I've just said. Milinkovic, Savage, Gomez, Acerbi in, Vardy, Royce, and Natal in at United. Pogba, Shaw, and Williams out. Not a lot at Newcastle. Not a ton at Sheffield. Who's this? Southampton. Flecken, Redmond, and Boufal out. Chiesa and Diaz in at Tottenham. Not a ton at West Brom. Calabria, Diakabi, Castillejo, Brooks in at West Ham. And then Felipe Anderson and Diop out. We've bought in Semedo and then 2 loans. And then Bonatini and Miranda have gone out. Lacazette and Bellerin out. Genet, Klosterman, Kramaric, Schreff in at Arsenal. So a pretty wild window for a couple of teams. Milinkovic, Savic, Robertson, Grimaldo going to Barcelona. Big ones, Gaia, Fabian, Pogba off to Barcelona, Depay to Juve, Gomez to City. Gomez is 32 already. Zaha to Chelsea. There are some pretty big transfers moving around. Robertson one is especially large, but you know, we'll deal with it as it goes forward. So what we're going to do now is jump forward, get into that Everton game once we take a quick look at this. Training injury. Broken elbow for Saiss. As soon as he signs a new contract, 7 weeks he'll be out. That is rather large. Not what we needed to see there. Are there any players we want to get rid of here? We can get rid of this lad. But everyone else, there's some decent players in here, and we'll see how they grow. But let's go forward to the Everton game. Saiss needs to be dealt with, but that's why we needed midfield bodies. That's what we needed the extra bodies for, because one injury there, and we are very thin. So let's jump forward. Everton Wolves. Everybody except Saiss is fit, and Dunker will slide in there. Let's jump into it. Nice touch. One more. Can we slip that through? It's Jimenez. And Jimenez, can he slide it across? He can. He does well. He has to get out there. Oh, he's finished it anyway. Goalkeeper had time to get back across. It's been put into the back of the net anyway. Ruben Neves with another. He's had a couple of goals this season so far. And on 7 minutes we lead. We just turn, just slides it across. Neves had to get out there, but then he drags it back across Pickford. Because Pickford had plenty of time to get out there. Should have been a tap-in, and oof. Just past his stretch. He hit it a little bit too hard for Pickford. And it's 1-0 early. That's a nice ball into that space. Gets it forward to Jimenez. And now we have extra runners. Can we slide that through? We can. And can we get that out wide? We definitely can. And it's Traore. Oh, great save. Oh, what a block. That's a tap-in for Neves again. But he's gotten across to get a foot in front of that. Pickford would have been beaten. There's no one near him. As that gets clipped back in. Ball's floating around and out of play for another corner. That is an incredible block. And it was almost 2-0. As this comes to Traore. Makes space for himself. Has a pop. Gets blocked away. Slide it across. Here's Neves. Neves finds Dendoncker in space. And he has a pop from distance. And it's an easy enough save. That gets out to Traore. And the overlap here from Semedo. That's exactly what we want. Semedo racing away up this right-hand side. And Semedo's on it. And he can clip it to the top of the box to Moutinho. It takes a touch and we smash the outside of the post. What a take and what a hit from Moutinho there on the volley. And that has smashed the outside of the post. I don't think... The one thing I don't like is I don't think the posts move that much when you smash the lower end of the post. But he has hammered that. And a bit unlucky that we don't have a second goal just yet. Here's Dendoncker. One more. There's a gap opening up here for Moutinho to run into. And he can just get away from the fullback. And it's Moutinho! Great finish. And we've taken a 2-0 lead. Early on in the second half, just like the first. We grab it. And it's probably deserved as well as everybody walks right through the board. That's great. Lovely, lovely stuff. Moutinho with the goal. He goes right through and then he just cuts in front. Gets away from the center back. And it's a great finish as well. Pickford sprawls himself out. Can't quite do enough to keep it away. And on 50 minutes, we lead 2-0. Moutinho. Slip it across there. And there's plenty of space out here for Traore to run into. And he's going to use his pace. Clips that back post. Can Jimenez get there? He can. That's a great header. It's a great cross. Gonna be honest, that looked like it came right off his hand. I'll have to watch it again, but an excellent header, and we are cruising all over Everton, which I didn't exactly expect. I want to watch that in slow motion again because I think that came off his head, but his hand was up there. It definitely got in the way, but it's a great header. It's a really great cross from Traore, and it's an hour gone, and we're 3-0 up and cruising. Nice turn inside, really, and he did well to hold on to that. And Traore is surely away here, and it comes to Traore. He slips it across. Jimenez hammers it home. What a break. Everton falling apart. We struggled so much the last couple of games. Only 1 point from the 6 available, and then we come into a game I expected to be a lot more difficult, and we are killing Everton. Maybe they just feel like they're better than us and they're going to go out and play their football and not watch us on the break. And that has not been the case. And we killed them on that break. Traore getting into an excellent spot. And he is almost too quick to catch. 4-0 here with 20 minutes to go. Can we slip that through? We can. Is he onside, Neto? And Neto is onside. That's excellent football going forward. And Neto, oh, what a finish. 5-0. Another great break. And Neto, that is an excellent finish. And as this game gets more and more stretched, that's the kind of football we want. We love open play. We have pace all along the front here. And this is an excellent finish from Neto. It really is. Low and away, right into that corner. Not much you could really do about that if you're Pickford. In the end, I guess, that was so perfectly placed. And it's 5-0 here with 10 minutes to go. Nicely done. Great, great drag away from Silva, and he clips it back post. That's brilliant from Silva. As we put the icing on the cake of an incredibly emphatic performance. Look at this turn from Silva. Guy puts his foot in horribly, the defender, to be fair as well. That's a tap in at the back post for Traore, who deserves his goal, really. And it's 6-0 here, and we're going to come away with a massive win. And as we were talking about before, I can't tell sometimes if it's the way teams set up or if it's the difficulty, because before this, we would only grab 1 point from games against Sheffield and Burnley, and then we go ahead and do something like this. So we may just have a pretty wild career here at Wolves. We shall see as the season goes on, but an incredibly emphatic result. We are definitely the high scorers in this league so far. And 6-0 obviously is pretty incredible. They didn't have a single shot. They were poor all game, really. But Liverpool win. Brighton beat Leeds relatively easily, so that may be one of those things where Leeds are going to have a really, really tough year. So we'll see. But as you can see, after 5 games, we sit third. We're on 10 points. Manchester City, Chelsea, and Liverpool all around us. But we, as I said, we haven't played any of the top 6 yet. We've only played Everton, Burnley, and then we've played lower end teams here: Sheffield, Leeds, and Fulham. So we've had a relatively easy start to the career here at Wolves. Next episode, we'll what will it be? Brighton, and then we are away in the Carabao Cup to Newcastle, and then after that we have Liverpool, Newcastle again, Tottenham, and they were getting toward the end here. Then we're gonna look at that. Oof, look at that. Look at that. November, end of November, we have a stretch here. It goes Chelsea, Leicester, West Ham, United, City, Arsenal, and then West Brom, and then Leicester, Chelsea, Arsenal, City, United. Wow. We are gonna, that is an incredible stretch. That is an unbelievable stretch. We could go a whole 2 months and pick up like 6 points from 10, 12, 13, 14 games. That's incredible. That is an incredibly tough way to go, guys, but we're going to end it here. I hope you folks, of course, have enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for more. And peace.